Guys, how are you? I hope you are all fine. It's say Ronald again. Welcome to my page. Welcome to my account. Welcome to my channel. Thank you guys for your support. I really appreciate it. Right. So last time, guys, we were discussing about accounting concepts. So this video is a special video to those who requested that say, can you please help us on how best can we score high marks on variances. So today, this is their video. I'm going to demonstrate how best can you tackle variance questions. Right. So if you also have any requests, maybe you are struggling with any topic, you can also comment in the comment section in Facebook, YouTube, or TikTok, so that also I can do a special video to you. Right. So variances. Right. So on this video, the only variance that I'm going to do is these three variants: material price variance, and labor variance, and variable overhead variance. So these are the three variants that I'm going to do on this video. Right. So what is a variance? Remember, you need to know that this is from standard costing. You need to know what is a variance before we start to do these three variants. So what is a variance? So we are saying as an organization, you can plan, right? But your plan can go against you, right? So that maybe your actual will be greater or less than what you budgeted, right? So what is variance? We are saying variant, this is the difference between the budgeted or the standard cost and the actual cost, right? A variance can be greater or what? Like an actual cost can be greater or less than the budgeted cost. But basically, a variant is the difference between the budgeted and the actual cost. Right. So we are saying we want to do these three variants for today. Right. So guys, this is a special video because I came up with a best approach on how to do these three. So you are going to see that this approach, you can't see it on Google, you can't see it on Facebook, you can't see anywhere that you want to see. Even in books, it's not there. This is just the approach that I came up, that I developed for you guys on how to do these three variants. Right. So what is important when you do variants is to know the formula. Once you get the formula, it means you are now assured that everything you are going to get them correct. So you need to know the formula. So this approach is there to remind you as a student on how to do this variance. So this approach is there to remind you on the formula to calculate the material variance, the labor variance, and the variable variance. Right. So what is the name of the approach? The approach is called greater than or less than approach. So this is my approach. My approach is called greater than and less than approach. So this approach is there to remind you on the what? On the formulas to calculate the material variance, the labor variance, and the variable variance. So I can now understand that everyone is now in curiosity that what is this approach and how can we use this approach? So this approach, how do you use this approach? Right. So you want to formulate what? You want to formulate formulas. Right. So what do? You just come here and you write your greater than approach. Then you come here and write your less than approach. Your less than what? Sign. So this is greater than sign. This is less than sign. Right? Because this approach is called greater than and less than approach. So you write down your greater than sign and you write down your less than sign. Right. So on this greater than sign, on each and every edge, you put A. Right? Then on this less than sign, on each and every edge or corner, you put S like this. So here you come on greater than sign, you put A here, you put A, you put A. Then here on less than sign, on all edges, you put S, sorry, you put S, then you put what? You put S. Right. So on each and every corner for greater than sign, you pay. For each and every corner for less than sign, you put S. Right. So as you can see now, we now have three levels: level 1, level 2, and level 3. Right. So what is the key for our what? For our approach? A is representing actual. A is representing actual. S is representing standard. Right. AC is representing standard, then A is representing actual. Right. So now we now want to link this approach with this what? Variance. Right. Let's start with labor variance. You need to know that if you get the formulas for labor variance, it also means that for variable overhead variance, you also understand it because they use same formulas. Why? Because on labor variance, we are talking of what? Hours. Then also here on variable overhead variance, we are talking of what? Hours again. So if you get the formula for labor variance, it means also you get the formula for variable variance. So using this approach, let's now link it with labor or with let's link to labor variance. Right. On labor variance, remember we have three variants on labor variance. We have labor rate variance, and we have labor efficient variance, and also total labor variance. So these are three variants that we have. And already also here we have three levels here on our approach. So let's now link. We are saying labor variance. Right, so here, since here on labor variance, we are talking about hours of hours. Right, so it means we are saying actual hours worked times actual what? Actual rate. Right, here is actual hours times standard rate. Right, then here is standard hours for the actual production times standard rate. Right. As you can see, we have actual hours times actual rate, then here actual hours times standard rate, then here standard hours times standard rate. Right, so this is now our three levels, right? So since we are saying we have variable, we have labor rate variance, and we have labor efficient variance. So how do you calculate labor rate variance? How do you calculate labor rate variance? So labor rate variance, we are saying the difference between actual hours times standard rate times actual rate. So the difference of these two, is labor labor price variance. Right? Then the difference between these standard hours and standard rate and actual hours and standard rate is what? Is labor efficient variance. Labor efficient variance. So how do you calculate labor rate variance? You are saying actual hours times standard rate minus actual hours times actual rate. How do you calculate labor efficient variance? You are saying standard hours times standard rate minus actual hours times standard rate. So this is how you calculate labor efficient variance. So as you can see, it's now simple using this greater than and less than approach, because it's there to guide you what do you put here and what do you put here. Right, so it will become also simple for variable overhead variance, because we are saying these variance, they use same formula. You are only changing the type of variance. We are saying we have variable expenditure variance here. We have variable expenditure variance. So when it comes to variable overhead variance, we have variable variable expenditure variance. So how do you calculate variable expenditure variance? You are saying actual hours times standard rate minus actual hours times actual rate. Then here, how do you calculate variable efficient variance? Variable efficient variance. You just do the same standard hours of actual output times standard rate minus actual hours times standard rate. So this is how you apply the greater than and less than approach to calculate labor variance and variable variance. Right. So you will see that when it comes to material variance, you just use the same, but here you are now changing because we are talking of what? We are talking of material. So instead of hours, here you put actual material purchased. Yeah? Then here you put actual material used. Then here you put standard one, standard material for the actual production. Right. So this is the I want to use this approach to do an example. So I'm going to cut this video and do another video so that this video will be short so that you can enjoy it. So thank you guys. Continue to follow me and continue to give me some special requests so that I can do a video for you. Thanks.